truly important to understand that, because who you were is gone and you can't go back to that, right? It's like after you leave college, you can't wish and desire to go back to college because you were having a good time. That part of your life is over. So post-retirement, you've got to create something new. And this is why, I encourage people to take a gap year, because you need to come out of where your comfort zone, where you've been living, you have your friends, you know where everything is. You can't learn anything new in that environment. And it takes courage to come out. And that's why I call it the DARE method, because you need courage. But DARE is also an acronym, which I'm not going to go into great detail. D is for discover, A is for assimilate, R is for rewire, and E is to expand. And so my program is an 8-week module, and the letter D covers 2 weeks, A covers 2 weeks, R covers 2 weeks, and E covers 2 weeks. But right now, with my team, I'm working to freshen up the course, the pre-recorded course, and what it includes, etc. There's also a book coming out later this year about my 80-day trip around the world. It's called Odyssey of an Elder, Around the World in 80 Days. And what's that about? Well, it's about taking a gap year. So I decided to take an epic gap year, because I can't teach about it unless I've done it myself. And so it's about encouraging people to change locations, to change perspectives, not to be afraid to fail forwards, because that's the only way to grow. Children have no issues with trying things out and falling and getting up again. We get embarrassed because our ego is now much bigger, and we don't want to be seen to fail. We don't want to be seen to make idiots of ourselves. But guess what? A new beginning requires you to have the courage to move through this and not be afraid what other people think, because on your deathbed, what other people think is none of your business, and it won't be. So thinking is hard. That's how we need to be thinking. Yes, Rich, am I talking too much? You can slow me down.
No, not at all. You keep talking. I just wanted to give you some feedback. When you asked
Sure.
where are you tuning in from, and we're on multiple platforms, and they don't all end up on here. But hey, George, watching from New York, you have someone else who is checking in from London. They're excited for this. You even have tuning in from Sydney, Australia. I don't know what time it is there, but I think it's about 12 hours ahead, for Pete's sakes. Anyway, live from Toronto, Canada. And we even have somebody who says they're here from Cape Town, South Africa. So that's interesting. So you're pretty diverse.
Excellent.
I mean, we obviously have a couple of people from New York and the other areas. And then the other thing, the second question that you had was, if they could travel anywhere else to reset their mindset. We got some pretty interesting ones. I like Bali for peace and spiritual renewal. I can't even say it for my Bronx accent, but
okay,
that's not a slouchy place to go, huh? Japan, always wanted to experience the culture. Here's one that I could have put down. Italy, the history, the food, and the lifestyle. I definitely went there and experienced all of those. Someone else said they'd like to explore Africa and go on a safari and maybe see that lion that you saw when you were in the open air truck. Matter of fact, I think we posted that on Facebook.
No, I mean, it doesn't matter where you go. There are plenty of beautiful people and beautiful places to visit, and keep an open heart and an open mind. There are so many good people out there who go out of their way. Seriously, it's shocking. I don't know whether it's just the Anglo-Saxons who are sort of unhelpful, but they're not really either. I think, when people come from abroad, it's amazing how kind people are. You just have to go out there and check it out. Sitting in your own home on your sofa, watching TV all day long, you lose that connection and you get lethargic. You just you, you need to come out of being in that parochial place where you've been most of your life or working life to try something new. And it does take courage. And believe me, I understand. It's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy because you have to you have to come out of yourself, right? Out of that prison that keeps you locked in. So yeah,
That
so
that
sorry,
prison,
Rich.
that prison really, in a lot of cases, is a comfort zone.
Yeah,
That couch is a comfort zone. That negative mindset is a comfort zone.
it
You know,
is a comfort, but it's
right,
actually it's a delusion because it's not even real.
right.
It's not even real. We here's the thing about and listen, I'm as guilty as anyone else out there, right? I'm just saying it because I know it, but I have to push too. The thing about joy is that we're afraid to be joyful because when it's taken away from us, it rips our heart out. And
Ah,
so we decide, you know what? Let me hold the hand of fear. It's easier because that way I don't get upset anymore. But that's not living. That's idiotic. But if you are in a state of joy, it's like living life on a full tank. And is that joy going to be taken away from you from time to time? Yeah. But for how long? You can't suppress joy. It's like an artesian well. Once you drill down, it just comes up of its own power. So you will have disappointments. And by the way, I have to say this to myself because I hold the hand of fear myself sometimes. It's just the way it is. But what if you could hold the hand of love and joy? That's what I keep
that's good.
telling myself all the time. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
we're fearful creatures. That's how we've been programmed. And sometimes, fear serves us for a period of time. But when it takes over your life, you're in trouble. And you don't find out about that until your deathbed. And then you think like, oh, too late, time's up. That's why retirement is a beautiful time in fact, it's a perfect time to have the courage to become who you were meant to be, not the mask that we've learnt so well and that we've chiseled so beautifully that nobody can see us for who we really are, or so we think. The only person we've cheated is ourselves. And that's a
absolutely.
hard one.
Yep. But it's about opening yourself to new perspectives, right? New possibilities.
Absolutely.
So
That's
it's
right.
really open-mindedness, and that's so important. And it keeps you that'll even just being open to change will keep you young. It'll keep your mind active. The more new things you learn
It's
will
about
help you
energy. It's about energy. And it
100%.
does, it gives you more energy. Absolutely.
All right, so carry on, as they say, and
All
I
right.
will interrupt you again shortly.
Sure. Okay. So talk about evolution of Dare. We're working on Dare. We're working on um, making it better. And we're hoping that we'll be able to relaunch it in April. So we've got things to get on with. But in the meantime, we're going to have weekly Facebook Lives, and we're going to be also on other social media. And also, when we get closer to April, we'll be having a webinar to introduce to introduce you to the new DARE program, the live one and a pre-recorded one. But also, we're going to keep the prices fixed at the old price until we have the webinar and we have the first live session of 8 weeks live session with me for 90 minutes for each week as we go through it. We're keeping the old price. and that's the final one. And beyond that prices will be going up, obviously, and that's why we want to make sure that everybody who is on board doesn't miss out on that. And that's why we've decided to keep the old prices for the April-May session. But we haven't got the dates yet, so just be aware it's coming, and we're going to be obviously releasing this information. So we'll be sending out special invitations for you to sign up and so on. So just look out for it. I think that's pretty much it. I don't know, Rich, if you want me to talk about anything else specifically, or whether you want to go into the live Q&A at this point. I turn it over to you.
Well, I just have a quick question. Do you want to just go over a little bit about the DARE program, or the gratitude book, or even the DARE book? Why not discuss that?
Yeah, sure. What is available right now, and what I would encourage you to do, is to buy the DARE book, and also the Spirit of Gratitude book, which tells you a little bit about me and my journey and how I came about to do what I do now, helping retirees find a new beginning. But the DARE book is essential for you to buy and read it, because it'll give you the foundation. So when you start on the program, it won't be cold. You'll be warm to the material already. So go ahead and go to my website, georgejurgian.com, go to books, and wherever you are in the world, press the country that you're in to order the book, and get it ahead of the program that we're going to start in April. So that's what I would encourage you to do. And I think that's about it.
Yeah, I think that the thing. Let me hop in here for a second.
Sure.
I think that the gratitude book is a nice way to start, because no matter who you are listening to or reading, they always tell you to start your day with gratitude. It seems to be one of the things. Or have a gratitude journal. Write down 3 things that you're grateful for. And your book is more than just words. It's your personal journey of discovering the power of gratitude. And that started for you when you were in your 50s. And that's really right. And that's the genesis of the book. I mean, by now, people, if they don't know, should know. And I'm not giving the book away, but that you had a serious illness that was life-threatening. And matter of fact, I think they gave you 4 months to live back in your 50s. And
it was 6 months. I was 52, and just very briefly, I was diagnosed with a bone tumor and given 6 months to live. Thankfully, the bone tumor was benign, not malignant, and it was localized, so I survived. But they needed to do 2 operations. So I was out of commission for 6 months and had to learn to walk again. But fast forward, that caused me to semi-retire early. And then I realized that retirement really was not what it was cut out to be. I wasn't living. I was waiting on other people because they were busy, and my time was free. So I was waiting on other people, and it's like the most soul-destroying thing, not having your own purpose and your own journey and waiting on others. Instead of being fulfilled, I was filling time. I was supposed to be having fun, and I wasn't. I wasn't enjoying it. And I'm a slow learner. It took me 10 years to realize that this whole thing is a scam, and I needed to be out of it. But I didn't know where to go, who to go to, and what to do. So my journey to discovering a new beginning took a long time. And what my course is sort of made for is to save people an awful long time by by recognizing what you're up against is almost tiptoeing to a quiet death. And who wants that? Once you're in it for a long enough time, there's no turning back. And so you need to know about this before you make a decision as to what you're going to do with the rest of your life. And that's why it's important to understand the first bit about being grateful. It's not just a woohoo thing. I did some great research on this. And one of the things I found out was from a German philosopher, Martin Heidegger, who said thinking and thanking are deeply connected, not just linguistically, because the word thinking and thanking apparently come from the same root verb, a Proto-German word called thank, T-H-A-N-C, or thanken, but it's all about thinking and thanking, and they're connected. But it's also about linguistically, not just linguistically, sorry, neurologically. What does it mean? Our synapses are connected in the sense that when you're grateful, you're actually thinking. In short, if you're not grateful, you're not thinking. And let me give you an example of what I mean. If you're constantly striving after something, and it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a beach house, a home, a car, a private jet, I don't care, whatever it is that you're after, you work hard to get there. And when you get there, there's an emptiness. It hasn't sated you, hasn't satisfied you. It's like a deep void inside. And so the reason for that is because you're constantly striving for the next thing, thinking that's going to give you that joy, that sort of sense of fulfillment, that something that's going to give you something, and it doesn't. It still leaves you bitterly empty. And the reason for that is because you're not grateful for what you already have, right? And we live in a consumer society that makes us unhappy with whatever we have because, and it's advertising, it's the drip feeding of advertising. You're not good enough until you have this. You're not good enough until you have that. And this applies to men and women. And so what it does is it leaves you in this state of discontent so that you buy more. And what it is it's about being grateful for what you already have. And that opens you up to new opportunities. Just fast forward, when I went on a silent retreat in 2016. For 30 days, I was in silence. I completely cut off from all noise outside. No emails, no text, nothing. And in that 30 days, I did an audit on my life, right? And I went through every home I'd lived in and looked at all the good things that happened and all the bad things that happened. And what I discovered when I reread over the notes I'd made was that none of the things that came to me would have come without the preceding crisis. So no opportunity would have come to me without the preceding crisis. So in a bizarre way, I should be grateful for the bad things that happened to me. That's what I ended up realizing. And that's why the book is called Spirit of Gratitude. Crises are opportunities. So that's the bit about the book. And the DARE method is the whole, it's the process of how to make the change, not just intellectually and mentally, but also emotionally and subconsciously. Rich, I think
George, let me interject something
my
there.
way through this. This is
there's a lot.
Sure.
We're getting a lot of comments, but let me just interject one thing. You've already sold thousands of the books, but more importantly, the courses. So this isn't a new thing, even for you. You started doing this actively. I want to say around 2019, 2020. And you worked on when did the gratitude book come out?
It came out in 2018, and the DARE book came out in 2022, and my new book, Odyssey of an Elder, is coming out in this year. So it's every 4 years I'm getting a book out. So
that's it. Not bad at all.
This is the trilogy.
Yep. and they're all, yeah, exactly. They're all related. Um, it's unbelievable though, because the book really gives you tools to live a life of purpose and fulfillment. And I just want to impress people that you just didn't create this. We didn't just start selling this. This is something that's been going on since
No,
2018, 2019 to 2020. That you've
this has
had the
been
course.
incubating.
Yeah.
I spent a great deal of time studying about retirement, who created it, and there's so much stuff that will actually help you to understand what retirement is and what it is not. But Rich, just a question for you. What
Go.
questions do people have? Maybe we've got time for one or two.
Okay. So
Any
let
questions
me.
out there?
Yep. Give me a second. Let me try to rip
Sure.
them out.
Awesome.
Because they're all pretty good. Actually, they're all the questions are great here. So I'm just trying to. We have people that are looking into starting their own business. We have people that are leaving their 9 to 5 to pursue something that they're passionate about. We have people that are actually thinking about writing books and sharing their story. They're also looking to, which is why they're on this live. They're looking to invest in themselves. They're looking for coaching. They're looking for courses. They're looking for personal growth. And once again, this with my eyesight and everything is it's a challenge because we've got a lot of stuff. Somebody is saying that they're looking to take a break and prioritize their own well-being. So those are the kind of questions that you have, and I'm sure that we could look at them and answer them in once we're off the live, we could continue to answer these questions. But that's what you have, George. You want to attack any of those? Did I throw them at you too fast? What?
Well, yeah, let me just say that first of all, be very gentle on yourself, okay? Because our ego is such that it makes us fearful to try new things, because now that we are experienced, right, we don't want to make mistakes at this stage in our lives. We want to play cautiously. But the paradox is that a new beginning requires you to fail forwards and not judge yourself and not beat yourself up because you're making mistakes. But humility is a wonderful way to get through this. Our egos are the opposite. They're the ones holding us back. And in fact, what I discovered is that nobody out there is stopping us. The only person or individual that is stopping us is ourselves. And so, yes, you need to take time out, do an audit on your life, go back in your early days. What is it that you love to do? When people ask, I ask people, what is your purpose? A lot of people don't know. And it's not about conquering the world like Alexander the Great or anything like that. It doesn't matter what you're doing, as long as you've got joy and you love what you do, okay, the money will come. Do you know how many businesses out there can't find people? Because nobody's really interested. But if you're passionate about what you do, you can start your own business or even work with other people. It doesn't really matter. It's whatever suits you best, whatever suits your circumstances. But the primary focus is you, because as I've always said, you can't love the people around you if you don't love yourself first. So you need to, find out who you are, who you want to be, and what you want to do because you love what you want to do. Then everything else falls into place. Rich, I hope that covers a general thing. We're not into specifics at
You
the
answered
moment,
about 7
but we
questions
will no
there.
doubt be going into specifics.
We will get into the what is it? Specifications? How do you like that word? Huh? That took me a little. I had to practice that one. The
We'll get into the
specification.
weeds.
Get into the weeds. Yeah,
Yeah, we'll get into the weeds.
Hey, we're going to answer these things, okay? But we will get to it. With that, we are trying to keep this to a strict 30-something minutes. You are in London. I am on the East Coast. And it's always exciting to, especially when we have our my time 7 a.m. and your day is well underway. It's always fun when we get together and talk. But I think once again, to stress the point, thousands of people have already transformed their mindset using the principles in your books. And I think that's a phenomenal, accomplishment. And I also believe that you have a bunch of testimonials on the website, and the website address is scrolling on the
Everything's up
live
on the
right
website.
now. And it is a fantastic website to go and see, and they could learn just from that. But certainly the people that have been helped by this, and I've had the privilege of talking to a number of them since we first started doing this, and it's really it's very, very exciting to hear them and to hear how excited they are. I know down here everybody seems to be into pickleball, and you got people up to and including in their 80s, and they're out there smashing a pickleball around. It's wild how competitive. It's like, I don't know, it's like summer camp. 12 months out of the year, it's summer camp for people over 60. So baby boomers, they are playing. That's the sport for baby boomers.
Rich, I mean, you're still playing hockey, right? And teaching
Well,
hockey?
I still skate, but I'm doing the fitness. I'm more in the gym, and I'm doing what they call them, farmers walks with 2 dumbbells that are a lot of weight, and it's very good for you just to stay active. The mere even if it's just walking around after a meal, it's a great way to stay active. So you don't have to go into the gym and throw up a ton of weights like myself and friends of mine. We do that just because we've been doing it I've been working out for 50 years now, and it's not to become Arnold Schwarzenegger or something like that. It's just so that I can pick up groceries and carry them upstairs and, do different, simple tasks like sitting down on the floor and then getting back up without asking anybody to pull me up. So it's really important. And the more you stay physically fit, it also helps your mental health. It really does. So
they're all connected. They're all connected.
All connected. And we could certainly go over that in the coming weeks and months. But other than that, what else? Any closing thoughts, George?
No, I'm just looking forward to seeing you guys. And I'd just say to you, go to my website, check it out, look at the programs, but don't sign up yet. You might want to sign up to the a new beginners course. That's fine. It's a taster course, but don't sign up to anything else as of now, other than also perhaps buying the book ahead of the course in April. So that's all I would say to you. But you want to invest in yourself, and it's not a lot of money.
Fantastic. Well, as always, it's been a pleasure. We will put this up so people can see it even after we end the live, and we'll also be sending out a bunch of messages, and look for us on YouTube. Certainly look for George on YouTube at Retirement Rebellion. You could get it at the YouTube channel. He's also on Instagram and Facebook, Twitter, and we're going to be getting on Pinterest, especially with the books, very shortly. So we got a lot going on. We got a lot of good people helping us do it, and we look forward to seeing everybody again, certainly next week. We'd love to hear your comments on social media, and that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll have a fade out music next week, and we'll have fade in music, and we'll have all kinds of exciting new stuff every day. You'll see it'll get better and better. Not perfect, but better is the new perfect. So George, thank you again. I had a blast as always, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Rich, and thank you everyone for joining us here tonight.
Beautiful.